seriously hurting people, and it's harming our business climate.
I hear you. What's on my mind right now is every time I hear something like this, I think to myself, hey, look, Craig, this is just human nature. This is what happens when you're in a position of power. You've got leverage. You've got your family to think about, your grandkids. It's just human nature to be this way. What do you say to a thought like that?
I personally, I'm going to tell you.
I hear you.
And I love your show because it's such an authentic conversation. I can tell you that from my perspective, accepting the status quo is not an option. It's an unacceptable status quo, and we have it within our power. I mean that by collective political action, to change the dynamic, to change the paradigm, to no longer accept the status quo. We can stand up, we can organize, and we can say, no, we are not going to permit the abuse of people the way they have in the past. Just because it's gone on to this point, we don't need to accept it. And people can seek through empowerment, through their political action, to stand up and take a stand and stop this abuse from happening and from continuing.
So what's required, what it sounds like, you're asking for, well, among other things, you're asking for the common man to be more socially conscious.
Yes, and I think that there is a danger in that so many of us will sit in our homes or go about our lives feeling powerless.
And complain.
But individually feeling like we can't have an impact. And you know, the entrepreneurial spirit that's kind of the theme of your show is something we're talking about here, is that there's a community entrepreneurship involved in taking political action and joining together and getting the empowerment that comes from changing the system.
Yes.
And it is possible. And I've seen time and time again a circumstance where an individual will start off feeling disempowered, but when they join together with a small band of other dedicated people and they do affect change, it is monumentally empowering to them. And that's what really we're talking about here.
Some would say, look, the politicians, okay, the council members, the powers that be, what have you, look, man, they just study this stuff. They know more than you do about this. You're in no position, not you, but I'm talking about the common man. He or she is in no position to be having a substantial say in matters of the city. And you've heard that before.
Yeah, it's called the tyranny of the expert. It really is. It came into being, really, back in about the 1960s, this all began. That, you know, and the theory is the world has become so complex and too difficult for the common man to understand. So you have to bring in experts and specialists, and you really have to delegate to them so much of your autonomy and freedom, because they're the ones who have the competence and the intelligence and the education to really tell you what to do with your life. I reject that fundamentally.